Hey guys, my name is Keith Duncan, and I chose to do my current event on the Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey team in their pregame show. So basically, an overall summary of the Golden Knights is it was their first year as a program in the NHL, um, and they obviously did well. They had the best record in the Western Conference. Um, it was the first time an expansion team has reached the Stanley Cup in that league. They're the first professional team in Las Vegas, and it gets the people excited in this city. So obviously they had to do something to get the fans excited. So in the article that I picked, it was an ESPN article written by Greg Wyshynski. He had a video tagged along and basically summarized the whole event. So it started out with Lil Jon, like we all know him. He basically had a concert out in the stadium or outside of the stadium, got the fans excited and got them engaged. And then it had a conga line of drummers going in the stadium, and that led to the big Vegas show, as everyone likes to call it. You can see on the bottom left of the PowerPoint there was a Vegas Golden Knight and a Washington Capital. They were fighting. It had a Game of Thrones kind of feel to it, and it was really cool. Um, and then that came to Michael Buffer, who some of you guys may know. He's a famous uh, boxing ring announcer, and he announced the starting lineups, and it kind of led to his very famous quote, like "Let's get ready to rumble." And that was something that I guess no one was expecting, and it was really cool to see that. And then what they do every game is they have a siren that they turn, as you can see on the bottom right of the PowerPoint. Chris Angel, magician in Las Vegas, he's cranking that thing with Lil Jon, and it's kind of the sign for the fans to stand up on their feet and the puck's about to drop. But before that, there was my favorite part of the event. So like we all saw it on the news, the shooting in Las Vegas in October at a country concert. 58 people lost their lives and over 800 people were injured. Before the drop of the puck, the team and the event management staff they dropped this banner that you see there, and throughout the season they made this a really big deal, and it kind of brought the city together. It was kind of unique how that happened in the first year of existence of the team. They dropped all of their promotional ads for the first game, and they just put up Vegas Strong banners. So I thought that was a really cool thing, and for them to play that play that big of a role, and especially the Stanley Cup, the first game of the Stanley Cup, that was really cool, and it definitely gave the team something to fight for, and it gave the city something to fight for, and it definitely connected the city and the people together. So some of the implications um, that I was thinking of, this pregame event, everyone is so excited. There were so many people involved. I saw a place that said like they had to cut down on uh, people letting people in outside before the game because it was way too hectic. They didn't have enough police. Um, so some of the implications, I think there'll be more pregame events in other sports. Um, so like this is just hockey. I mean, we can see this in like bigger revenue sports like the NBA or even the NFL. There's so many celebrities involved in the cities, and people like us, we see them as like big figures, and they get us excited about the whole game. That brings me to my next point, like more celebrities involved in the event. Um, So I think as an event management staff, like I said, if you have more celebrities, more people will be attracted to the whole event, and it'll just make everything more exciting, and everyone's going to want to be a part of it. Also, I think there will be an increase in ancillary events. There will see, sorry, excuse me. There was a concert outside. There's many things that go on in the events. You can have a little tournament of a kids hockey game or a walk before the game to raise awareness for a certain type of cancer or anything like that. Also, I think it'll be an increase in professional sports teams in Las Vegas. As some of you guys may know, the Oakland Raiders, they haven't been doing well. They're going in 2019, maybe 2020, they're transitioning to the city of Las Vegas. So maybe the Raiders will see this as an opportunity. They can see what the Golden Knights did, and maybe they can take that and run with it. So I think that'll be very interesting to see that. Also, I think there'll be an increase in sports fans. So I watched the first game of the Stanley Cup where they did the pregame show, and I was not expecting it. Like I'm a hockey fan, but I'm not a diehard hockey fan. But this really made me want to keep watching and see like what the game was about. Like they were clashing before the game even started, so that was really cool to see. I remember I marked my calendars for the second game that was going to be in Las Vegas and the fifth and possibly seventh, but that didn't happen. But it was very cool, and I'm sure the ratings were through the roof. So it was really cool to see that. So the discussion questions that I had is like, what's another thing that the Golden Knights organization could have done to improve the fan experience? Maybe, as I mentioned earlier, more police to make it safer. Another event that could have happened. Maybe another type of celebrity that could have branched out into another demographic. Also, do you think this type of pregame show will be adopted in other sports? I mentioned the NFL and NBA. Maybe it could branch out into another sport that's not as popular, like viewership wise on TV. Maybe soccer or another sport like that. Um, Also, is Las Vegas the only city that could pull this off? I also mentioned that Las Vegas. We all know them for their big shows, just nightlife. Everything's going crazy there. There's so many people. So would this be able to work in a city like maybe Charlotte, North Carolina, or maybe even in Des Moines if there's eventually a professional team adopted there? So that'll be interesting. Also, would you go and support your local professional team if they did this? And if so, what would mainly attract you to go? So I actually saw some tweets. I looked it up on Twitter. Some people weren't excited about the whole fact of the pregame show. They just want to see the game, so they thought that was a deterrent to the whole event. So that was interesting to see that. So also I tried to relate this to the NFL experience that it's a whole weekly thing that they do before the Super Bowl for the NFL. It's as similar as I could find for a pregame show like this. So I wrote, even though the Super Bowl isn't in the same city as a team that is playing that we've seen most of the time, can they still incorporate a pregame show like this one that involves people from the community and represents the city? And what are some ways they can do this if the host city team isn't playing in the game? So that's also a big implication. I mentioned how the Golden Knights implemented their community with the team. So in other sports, like if the Super Bowl isn't in the team that's playing in the game, how would they be able to do that, and how would they be able to get more revenue for their event? Thank you guys for listening, and have a good rest of the day.